I've been wanting to cosplay as someone from Borderlands for far too long, and I actually didn't have this one in mind, but when I saw the picture of it, I knew that we could do it. So celebrating the best week of the year, the best month of the year, we are rounding out October with this look. So join me, we'll walk through it step by step so that you can do this too. To start off this look, we are going to prime our face and then apply our foundation. So I custom blended this paint to be a light color, also with yellow in it, lots of yellow to kind of give the color of the mask. Then using a brown eyeshadow and a small detail brush, beginning to move in and sketch out some of these details, just so I have an idea of where things are gonna lie on the face. I used a reference photo throughout the entirety of creating this look, so I strongly suggest that you do the same if this is something you're looking to replicate. And in the circle around our mouth, I want to do a white circle in the middle of that, and then do a wide or a thicker gray circle around the white. This is going to be our vent, the vent mouthpiece that Psycho has. So then using the small angle brush and some black eyeshadow, I'm not only outlining the white circle, but I'm going to add in those vent details, these kind of curved lines that go around it to create the fan. And then moving in with some shading. So picking one corner on each of these little squares that we've created and kind of adding some shading and dimension, just using the same black eyeshadow and the same detailed angle brush. Now remember, wherever we have a shadow, we want to have a highlight. So going in with some white paint to add in the opposite corner some of the brighter light. And then finally going in with black eyeshadow again and the same brush to just add in the darker details to bring them out one last time. Over the white paint, I went in with a eyeshadow. It's kind of a pale yellow color. Then using my liquid eyeliner, added in those lines on the lips, and then outlined the entire structure with the same black liquid eyeliner. It wasn't perfect. It's kind of it's some sort of polygon. I don't know how many shapes it has, and it's certainly not symmetrical. I just kind of went around. And once all those lines are connected, I outlined it again, just leaving a little gap between the first set of lines and then adding in some shading underneath the vent. I did a very similar sequence with both of these mini vents on the side. So starting out with that gray paint, adding in some shading with some black eyeshadow, adding in the curved vent lines with the black liquid eyeliner, outlining it, and then adding a white circle in the center. Next, I had to custom blend a color for these leather pieces and straps that'll be going all over the face, starting with the chin strap. So once I found that color, I put that in there, added the screws, and now I'm starting to add in some detailed work with a dark brown eyeshadow and a small detail brush. Once I got those lines in there, it's all about adding shading and depth. Of course, where we have shading and depth, we need to create some highlights. So with the white paint, just going in and adding a few detailed lines there. Before I went in to do the details of the rest of the leather straps, I wanted to contour my face. Everything's very angular on the Psycho mask and just in the Borderlands artwork in general. So using kind of a mustardy yellow orange eyeshadow as well as a brown eyeshadow, going in with a really fluffy brush and just contouring the cheekbones and up around the temples. Once I felt satisfied with contouring the face, I used a smaller fluffy blender brush and went around the nose to start to form out that shape of the mask and then up around the eye sockets as well. Brought the shading up a little bit past the eyebrows because I will draw in like a furrowed brow a little bit later. Heading back to that lovely color brown for the leather, going ahead and filling in where these detailed straps on the mask are gonna be. There's nothing perfect or symmetrical or anything about this, just kind of roughly laying out a shape and filling in. Once all the lines have been filled in, I am going in with a dark brown eyeshadow and a dense eyeshadow brush to just provide some shading. If you don't really know where to start or what that means about adding shading, just think about adding darkness around the ends of each of things or where things are connecting and kind of leaving some brightness in the middle of this. Putting powder on top of the liquid paint is gonna help it last longer as well. So really just focusing the darker shades around the outside of each of these structures and then adding in a beam of highlight with a light foundation. For the top strap here across the forehead, I did a little bit of a different detail work of some dotted lines, but pretty much used straight lines for the rest of them. Once the highlight's in there, we're gonna add the black thread of stitching down the middle of each of these and then little swooshes across. You want a really fine brush for this detail work. We'll do the same method for all of these, except this middle one across the forehead where we have the dotted lines, kind of doing little railroad tracks. Then going and outlining each of these leather straps with a thick black line. Using the same small detail brush from the liquid eyeliner, just being a little less delicate with it. I wanted to go in and add some more detailed shading and shadowing. So this time going in with a black eyeshadow and my small detail brush, just really creating some more depth here. Again, it's kind of in the corners, on the outsides where things are connecting. So this is because of the contour of the cheekbone is why I'm focusing here. Doing so kind of erase some of those fine detailed lines. And I just wanted to show you that it's okay. We can just go back in and reinforce those. This is where the detail of the furrowed brow is gonna be. And then to add some of these details of the mask, again, just using the reference picture. He had this black geometric line that went across, so I did that on both sides. And then the U shape, or an upside down U rather, across the nose bridge, that just shows where this vented fan portion is going to extrude out. Adding some shading on the nose piece and then some detailed black lines in that characteristic Borderlands fashion. Going on to some of his body paint, it's pretty simple. It's okay for it to be messy and not too precise. I'm okay with that. Maybe that's just my personality type. Pretty uncharacteristic for me actually, but I don't do a lot of body paint, so this was fun to be able to extend it down onto the shoulders, the neck, and the décolletage. How do you say that word? Like your collarbone area. Décolletage, I think that's it. So it's kind of like a sun on one of the shoulders and then some squiggly lines on the other one. There's these two eyes with like one facing up and one facing down. And then again, the characteristic Borderlands art fashion of just blacking out these lines. To bring those details even further, I wanted to kind of outline the body. So taking it from my ear, extending down across my shoulders to my arm, this kind of big black band, and then outlining the mask and my face and my ears. And because it is a mask that he's wearing, adding the detail of that head strap. And then outlining the ears for just a nice additional touch. Now we can go ahead and finish up this look by completing the eyes. Now, of course, I don't have little LEDs that I can go ahead and put in there, and I don't have those contacts, but we're gonna do our best with what we've got. So gonna add some silver, then we're gonna go in with a light blue, a baby blue, if you will, to highlight the eyelid. If you have a brighter blue, you can feel free to use that. This was just the closest thing that I had within arm's reach. Then going around with some black paint to kind of blend all of that together to hopefully bring the blue forward. I went over the black paint with a black eyeshadow and a dense eyeshadow brush just to kind of set that, and then brightened up the blue paint with a blue eyeshadow. Again, to set the paint and then kind of help blend things together. I put on a shimmer paint to the halo part of the eyelid, and then we're gonna outline everything in with a thick black line, and this was just using the same liquid eyeliner. And this is it. Check out our final look. So we did it. We are Psycho from Borderlands. This was so much fun. There's so much detail work, and it's probably the most complex look that I've ever done on myself to date, but this was so rewarding. And I like the order that we did things in too, like starting with the vent of the mouth first and completing that with all of the shading and everything in the first 20 minutes. You know, like kind of a cookie crumb trail of like, oh, this is where we're going to be going to, and the vision started to come together right in the beginning, and that like gave the excitement and the optimism of like continuing through everything. I love Borderlands. Borderlands 2 specifically is what I have the most experience playing of that franchise. When I saw this look come across, I saw Made You Look do it. Phenomenal. Lex is an amazing makeup artist. And when I saw it on Pinterest, I was like, yes, I love video game inspired artwork and body paint and cosplay. That is like my bread and butter. I love that. It gives me so much joy. And I was like, I can do this. It's a lot, but I can do this. I know that I can do this. Took a look at her tutorial and then gained my own inspiration because she basically said, find a picture and then start to emulate it. So found my picture and kind of did everything from there. So I encourage you all to do the same if you're gonna do this. So much fun. Subscribe if you haven't already. Put out 2 new videos each and every week. Feel free to check out mine and my husband's channel. We put out new videos every Monday just for the sillies and the giggles. Check out the other Halloween looks that we have done throughout this month, as well as our beauty tutorials through September. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will get back to every single one of you, or feel free to contact me via the link in the description of this video. It's to a Google form. Let me know the reason of contact, and I will be in touch with you to help point you in the right direction of whatever it is that you're looking for. Thank you so much for tuning into another week with me. I hope you have the most amazing Halloween and you're having a great fall. And I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much.